Hey, I'm Dan Thomas, and welcome to my channel for the Newbie Woodworker, or anyone really. I bought this dust deputy in March of 2017, shortly before I made my dust collection for Newbie's video. It's worked flawlessly, filling up my dust bucket, and keeping my shop vac empty, and its filter pretty clean. Just recently, I noticed that Dust Deputy says they've increased their throughput by 20%. I don't know when they released this new version, but 20% is a bold claim, so I figured we ought to fact check them. And while we're at it, I saw this generic cyclone on Amazon for around half the price of a Dust Deputy. So let's run them up against each other and see where the dust settles. This is my old Dust Deputy. I'm using the gasket from the new Dust Deputy since my old gasket pretty much disintegrated, and I wanted the test to be the same. A quick word about these flexible rubber couplers. The dust ports on the Dust Deputy are around 2 inches, and I never felt comfortable trying to squeeze my 2.5-inch hoses down that small. So instead, I've always used these rubber couplers. They clamp down just fine since they're rubber, and I use a short PVC pipe on the other end to clamp my hose to. You can usually find these flexible couplers at your local home store. Anyway, I detached the hose from my main dust collection run and attached it to a short pipe that's duct taped to my workbench. I duct taped the fan portion of my anemometer to the pipe. This setup helps me make sure the test conditions are the same for each cyclone. The fan's connected to this anemometer, which measures the air throughput in CFM, or cubic feet per minute. So let's turn it on. I'm turning on the average function so the number doesn't fluctuate as much. I'm going to say that my old Dust Deputy's throughput is around 597 CFM. Now let's take a look at the new Dust Deputy. It looks pretty much the same as the old one. The label's different, and it's in a different place. I think the dust ports are just a little shorter. It took me a while to figure out what they changed that could affect airflow. But if you look inside it, there's a plastic wall here. I just got an email reply from Oneida, and they said it's called a neutral vane. The old Dust Deputy doesn't have it. You can also tell them apart by the fact that the new version has raised letterings on the top that say Dust Deputy, and the old one doesn't have any lettering. I attached the new Dust Deputy to the same lid I was using before, with the same bolts and the same gasket. The only difference is the Dust Deputy itself. Let's see what the new one reads. Let's call this 727. The old one was around 597, so the difference is 130, which is actually a 21.8% increase. This is the generic cyclone I found on Amazon. Several companies sell it, but this one's from Needy Ease. It was about $30. The standard Dust Deputy is about $50 with fewer attachments. The Dust Deputy Plus is about $67, but it comes with a hose, although the hose is pretty short, and I don't know how useful it is. The generic cyclone has a more curved, flowing top. Its bottom is angled, although it sits straight on the lid. It doesn't have that neutral vane inside it. The dust ports are slightly larger in diameter than the Dust Deputies, and I like the fact that they aren't tapered. I know there's not a huge difference in diameters, but I probably wouldn't mind attaching my hoses directly to the ports without using the flexible rubber couplers. I had to buy a new lid because it doesn't use the same bolt pattern as the Dust Deputies. I'm going to say it's about 716, which makes it 20% better than my old Dust Deputy. That's just shy of the new Dust Deputy's 21.8% improvement, although I suspect it's within the margin of error. So considering the price, this is a great option. As far as I can tell, they all seem to separate the dust equally well. It's more about how much dust they can suck in the first place. If you already have the old Dust Deputy, then replacing it is a good idea. Since the new Dust Deputy uses the same screw holes, so you won't have to replace the lid, it might be the best option. But if you don't want to spend the extra money, or you don't already have the old Dust Deputy, then the generic version is a great choice. It's cheaper, and the difference in throughput probably isn't enough to make a noticeable difference. Personally, since I bought both, I'll use the new Dust Deputy. Hey, listen, if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps. Leave a comment if you want, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to ring that bell to get notified when I release new videos. Thanks.